Let's talk about the Moon and Sixpence, before the writer left for Paris. Mrs. Charles was convinced that her husband had cheated on and eloped with another woman. She also said that if Charles was willing to change his mind, she can put bygones behind her. Start a new life with your husband again. This is how I forgive her. Then if it's for the romance and the moon, let's think about where Charles will live when he goes to Paris. Everyone thought he would stay in the best hotel, enjoy life with a young lover. However, when the writer arrived in Paris, ask others where Charles lives. A place called the Belgian Hotel. Oh, know the concierge in the streets of Paris? I have never heard of this address before. So where did this address come from? It was left to one of Charles's working partners before he left. So Charles's wife asserted, "This hotel is very big and luxurious, and there is everything you can enjoy inside." Later, the writer had no choice. I had to look for him everywhere. I finally found a hotel with the same name. There's only one family here, but this hotel is neither fashionable. It's not a place for rich people to live. It's very dilapidated. The windows of the hotel are dirty. Everything's closed. He'll say something when he gets here. Wow, Charles obviously wouldn't look for a place like this. The one who made him abandon his honor. The beautiful woman who abandoned her responsibilities in her hometown. Why would you live here with him? So the writer was very angry. I felt like I had been played. He almost turned around and left without asking. But he still decided to come, and he came. Hey, to have an explanation. Just go and ask again. See if anyone knows a man named Charles. He has done his best. We followed the author's eyes to see this hotel. He didn't even have a facade facing the street. Follow a narrow staircase to the second floor. I saw a small house separated by glass. There is a desk inside, a few chairs. There is a bench outside the house. There was no one. The writer had no choice but to inquire. A moment later, a dead person arrived. He asked this person, "Does Mr. Charles live here?" "Number 32, the 6th floor." The writer was surprised. I was speechless for a moment. Find this person. It surprised him even more. "Is he here?" The waiter looked at a wooden board in the small house. Said his keys weren't here. "Go up and see for yourself." The writer said very cleverly, "Is Madam here?" The waiter was expressionless. "Just sir." There are only such a few short sentences in the book, but it revealed two important pieces of information. The first one, Charles did live in a run-down little hotel. Second, he's alone. No young girl eloped with him. This one. The writer felt full of doubts. Just kidding. It wasn't eloping. It's not like going to Paris to enjoy luxury. What reason did this Charles have to give up his decent, stable family life and come here? It's like a conspiracy. So the writer got straight to the point after meeting Charles. "I think I'll just tell you why I came to you." He blinked. I knew someone would come sooner or later. Amy wrote me many letters. Then you know exactly what I want to say without saying it. I didn't even read the letters. You don't mind if I went straight? Charles shook his head and smiled. The ensuing dialogue was very exciting. The writer stands on the left. Charles stood on the right. Said the writer, "Should you treat him like this?" "Shouldn't." "What's wrong with him?" "No." "So you were married for 17 years. You can't find anything wrong with him. Doesn't it feel ridiculous to abandon him like this?" "This is ridiculous. What are you going to do with him?" The writer was surprised at the man's rogue honesty, but it's not easy to get angry. Until Charles volunteered to say if there was anything else you wanted to ask. Only then did the writer realize that he was at a disadvantage. I couldn't help but feel a little angry. Said the writer, "This is outrageous. You can't just treat a woman without giving you a penny, right?" "Why not?" "How does he live?" "I have supported him for 17 years. Why can't we change it? Support yourself. He can't. Let him try. Very speechless, right? Here comes the important question. Don't you love him anymore? Not at all. Charles's answer was very brief. This person does not like to talk. It seems that there really is nothing to say. The style is very concise. Seeing that the relationship between husband and wife is irreparable, Charles, the writer, had to move out of his children. Then you have to think about it. Kids, they didn't do anything to you. They did not come into this world themselves. Like you do. They will definitely end up on the streets. Alas, I was thinking, if something like this happens around us, maybe this line is something everyone will say, right? So what did Charles answer? They have lived well for many years. Most children are not so comfortable. Besides, someone has to feed them. Mr. and Mrs. McAndrew can provide them with school if necessary. But don't you like them? What lovely children. Are you saying you don't want to take any responsibility for them anymore? You see, it's tough. Want a soft? I am so miserable. Charles said, I did like them when they were kids. I'm grown up now. Nothing to worry about. It's so inhuman. I think I'm really ashamed. I am ashamed. This answer is very interesting. But as the saying goes, people are invincible if they are shameless. You can say anything bad about him. He accepted everything as if he were good. The atmosphere was already so awkward and tense. The writer still didn't understand one important thing. That was Charles. Why did you come to Paris? Charles finally explained. Say that women's brains are so pitiful. Love knows love. They thought the man left her because someone else was there. Do you think I am such a fool?